Predictions. Why do we even try? Because they're fun, even if they're never right. But if you just so happen to nail one, you feel like the smartest person in the world. Just ignore the other 30 you got wrong. I've been doing these prediction videos for the last couple years, so let's reset and do it again. Let's look back at what I saw happening in 2021 and look ahead to 2022. Here's what I usually go over. First coaster to open. Coaster to open way too late. Coaster that will be the sleeper hit. All the major golden ticket awards. Coasters that'll close. Parks announcing new coasters for 2023. And finally, a bold prediction. I'm also recording this on Sunday, November 21st and releasing it on Thanksgiving Day. So if any news breaks between now and then, you know why it's not in the video. So, going into 2021, I said the first coaster to open would be the King's Dominion Free Spin. I had no idea they were going to wait a whole extra year. It seemed like it was poised to go up and open for the park's opening day. Now we know, this is called Tumbili, and this will open at some point next year, possibly when the park opens in April. So what actually was the first coaster to open? Legendary Twin Dragon in China opened on February 3rd, Conda at Walibi Belgium on May 8th. And if you're looking at America, Stunt Pilot and Dragon Slayer both open on May 29th. Which coaster was going to open way too late in 2021? I said Emperor and possibly Pantheon. I was basing this on the strict rules California and Virginia had for the parks. Also, SeaWorld thinking it may not be worth opening these rides until it opened up a little bit more. SeaWorld decided to hold all their coasters back until 2022, so I guess I was kinda right. Another good pick is American Dryer Looping at Indiana Beach. I guess they're waiting on parts, so this barely got off the ground. Their new Galaxy coaster started way later, and it's pretty much done. As for coasters that actually opened, Energylandia's Abyssus opened kinda late in mid-July, but that's not too bad. Now for the sleeper hit. I said it would be the new Walibi Belgium Intamin Mega Coaster, which we later found out would be called Conda. I think this was a good pick. People who wrote it seemed to like it. Another good pick would have been Phoenix at Dino's Wonder Wheel. It popped up real quick, and everyone who's ridden it seems to love it, myself included. Now, looking back at the Golden Ticket Awards, I said the best new coaster would be Velocicoaster, and that was spot on. I said this was going to beat out Iron Gwazi for the honor, but without the new RMC in the mix, Velocicoaster's win was even easier. For Best Steel, I said Millennium Force. For Best Wood, I said Voyage. And for Best Park, I said Cedar Point. Turns out they went with the usual suspects. Fury, Phoenix, and Europa Park. So predictable, but I wanted to mix it up a little. So what would close in 2021, according to me? I thought this would finally be the last nail in Desperado's coffin. It was already shut down before COVID, and the whole resort looked like it was in trouble, but it has been seen testing again. I was also worried Diamondback at Frontier City may be on its way out, but it's lived on for another year. I also had a wildcard pick, Excalibur at Valleyfair. It's in a weird spot in the park, behind the water park. So if Valleyfair wanted to expand the water park, this would be in deep trouble. All three turned out to be fine. So what did get the axe? Canopy Corkscrew at Canopy Lake Park, Wicked Twister at Cedar Point, Buzzsaw at Dreamworld, and Goliath at Six Flags New England. I made that prediction back in 2019, so I was just a year too early. On to the parks announcing new coasters. I said Magic Mountain would not abandon their plans to get an RMC Raptor, and sure enough, they stuck with it, and they announced Wonder Woman, Flight of Courage. My other picks sucked. I thought Dorney Park would still get that shuttle wooden coaster. I thought Cedar Point would announce a new coaster for 2022. I thought Six Flags Over Georgia may get a free spin. And as for independent parks, I said Mount Olympus would get a Eurofighter. This turned out to be for Glenwood Caverns. I also said Kentucky Kingdom would go ahead with their planned Raptor. And my European pick for a new coaster was Thorpe Park. The parks actually announcing new rides for 2022 were Magic Mountain, Fiesta Texas, King's Dominion, Glenwood Caverns, Fun Spot Atlanta, and Indiana Beach. That Galaxy I mentioned used to be on the Mexican Fair Circuit, and it'll find a new home in Indiana. Energylandia is also getting a new mine train coaster and a family coaster, and I really should have seen that coming. We're also seeing a new family coaster go to Adventureland in New York, one of those crazy rollerballs. And Codaland in Austin, Texas shocked the world, announcing a Gerstlauer Infinity Shuttle coaster. My bold prediction was a dire one. I said at least 3 parks with multiple coasters would never reopen. I didn't specify which ones, but I had my eye on Funtown Splashtown USA, Cliffs in New Mexico, and Connie at Lake Park. Well, as of right now, not a single one shut down for good. The only parks I see shut down in 2021 were small parks in China and Saudi Arabia. All 3 of these parks only had 1 coaster. I was really stunned by this. I couldn't believe that every park survived being shut down for so long. Moving on to 2022, let's look at the first coaster to open. We already know that 2 new parks are opening in late February. Lotte World Adventure Busan in South Korea is one of them. This has 3 coasters, including a clone of Blue Fire, as well as a mock Power Splash. Peppa Pig theme park is opening in Florida, featuring a Zamperla family coaster called Daddy Pig's Roller Coaster. That being said, I think one coaster will beat them both. Icebreaker at SeaWorld Orlando. This is going to open the same month, and as long as it opens within the first 3 weeks, it'll be the first coaster of 2022. What coaster is going to open way too late in 2022? We gotta look at Six Flags first and foremost. Last time Magic Mountain had a new coaster, it opened 8 months late. A big part of that had to do with delays getting the track, not even getting pieces on site until February 2019, and Wonder Woman's track has been there in the parking lot since July. This looks good to open on time. The new B&M dive coaster at Fiesta Texas should also be safe. The park has a good track record of opening their rides by May, and these dive coasters are tried and true models. SeaWorld's rides are all ready to go, and after leaving us all waiting last year, they've set up opening months for all their coasters. I doubt they'll push them back. So that leaves me with possibly American Dryer looping. With parts slow to get there, with any problems they may have getting it up to code, this has the possibility of opening late in 2022, but we'll see. Palindrome at Codaland already said they're going to open late in 2022, so I'm not really counting that here. If you think any other coaster is in danger of opening late next year, let me know in the comments below. What will be the big sleeper hit of 2022? I think the new Vekoma Wildcat coming to Farouk Summerland, Phoenix, looks amazing. I was told it won't actually have lap bars like it does in the animation, but the layout is still great, and it should be one of the best, if not the best Vekoma in the world. We just got more details on Air Force One, the RMC coming to FunSpot Atlanta, and this thing is pretty huge. There's some legit hype around this now. The last one I'll point out is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, the new Vekoma coming to Epcot in Florida. It's gonna be indoors, well themed, it's got spinning cars, and here's the crazy part, 5,577 feet of track. That's not right. The ride experience and theming could make this the big hit of 2022. Let's talk about the golden tickets. For best new ride, it's a real toss-up. I think the favorite as of right now is Iron Gwazi, but then I think of those 2 Disney coasters. Tron is coming to the Magic Kingdom, and Guardians of the Galaxy could be amazing. This is such a tough call, but I'm gonna stick with Iron Gwazi. I think this will be a top 2 or 3 RMC in America, and this will get the edge over the others. As for the best steel, wood, and park, it'll probably be the same old, but just for fun, I'll pick a few others that could pop up and pull the upset. Even though Fury is amazing, the best steel coaster seems like it's snubbing Steel Vengeance for too many years now. But my upset pick for 2022 is Velocicoaster. This is universally loved, no pun intended. A perfect combination of theming and thrills, so I say, why not? As for wood, Phoenix is a lot of fun, but come on, it's not even top 5 in the country, let alone in the world. With the track problems that El Toro is having, I think Voyage is most likely to pull the upset. The award for best park is always between Europa Park and Cedar Point, but I'm gonna throw up a long shot. Islands of Adventure. With Hagrid's and Velocicoaster over the last 3 years, the park is leaps and bounds more attractive now than before. Now, onto what rides will announce their closure in 2022. My first pick will be T3 at Kentucky Kingdom. Now that Herschend is in charge, I can see them doing away with this old nasty SLC and maybe doing something else here. I'll save that for the next segment. Time Warp at Canada's Wonderland may be on the chopping block. I can see Cedar Fair moving this to a smaller park, or maybe they'll sell it to somebody else. Either way, I think its days are numbered. My last pick is Flashback at Six Flags New England. We know Goliath is done. Maybe Flashback will be next. Maybe they want to combine forces, using both plots of land for something brand new. That leads me right into the new coasters being announced for 2023. If Six Flags New England does remove Flashback, then I'd be willing to bet they're getting a new coaster to replace both boomerangs. Their last new coaster was Joker, and that was 2017. 6 years is a pretty long wait for this park. We talked about T3 leaving. I can see Herschend giving Kentucky Kingdom a new coaster on this plot. I think Cedar Point will announce something big for 2023. This will be 5 years since Steel Vengeance, and that's almost the same gap they had between Maverick and Gatekeeper. As for Wicked Twister, I would have guaranteed that it would be on its way to California's Great America, or maybe Worlds of Fun, but we know now it's going to be scrapped, so that's too bad. I'm still on that Dorney Park Shuttle wooden coaster. I still say they're going to do it. Six Flags Great America will be due for something 4 years after Max Force, and with Magic Mountain and Great Adventure getting single rail coasters, I think it may be their time to get one also. It looks like Dollywood is going to get a new coaster in 2023, this one being in Wildwood Grove. Based on what I've seen, I would expect a mock multi-launch coaster, something family-friendly like Manta. There's also a rumor of Knott's getting a new coaster for 2023. That's right, the Giga Coaster. I think a Hyper is even pushing it, but we'll see what comes out of that. The last new coaster for Knott's was Hangtime, and that came back in 2018. 5 years is a pretty good gap, so maybe Knott's does get something new. It'll also be 5 years for California's Great America, and there are rumors flying around of a possible launch coaster there. I said a mock multi-launch would make a lot of sense. This one is a little ambitious, but I think King's Dominion may announce Volcano's replacement. Tumbili was a filler coaster, and possibly a package deal with SNS. I wouldn't be surprised to see them get a launch coaster or an access coaster for 2023. When it comes to Cedar Fair parks, that's a lot of rumors. We'll see if maybe 2 or 3 end up with something. As for parks overseas, Energylandia will have 19 coasters by the summer, and they may announce something big for their 20th in 2023. We do know there is an access coaster coming to a European park in 2023, and it could be Energylandia. If not here, I have no idea where else. It could really be anywhere. We'll end this video like we always do, with a bold prediction. I'm gonna say we're gonna see our first extreme new age Vekoma come to the US. Of all the parks I mentioned, Kentucky Kingdom would be a good candidate if they take out T3. This would also be great for Six Flags New England, looking at that plot of land for Goliath and Flashback. Six Flags does a lot of work with SNS, and their parent company, Sansei, also owns Vekoma, so that may work. King's Dominion may also be a long shot. They just got an SNS, so maybe they struck a deal with Sansei, and their next coaster will be a Vekoma. That's a wrap for my 2022 predictions. Let me know what you think, what you agree with, what you disagree with, and what you think will happen in the year to come. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like. That's the best way to show your support for the channel. And if you're new here and love coasters, be sure to sub for more content just like this. And stay tuned a year from now for my 2023 video, and we can all laugh at this video together. Also, check out my links below for my Discord server, and my second channel, where I post copyright-free off-ride footage. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.